Hey guys, Magic Man here, and I'm actually bringing you coverage of a ship that I haven't shown you in a while. Is the Tier 7 Atlanta, the premium US cruiser. And this ship has some great AA for a Tier 7 cruiser. It's mainly because all of your main battery guns also act like AA guns. So you do 121 damage per second out to 6 kilometers with just the AA extension range modification. Now, unfortunately, you can get it out further than that if you have the ship set up for an AA spec sort of build. I unfortunately am using my Benson Captain, which I've been using for like Supremacy League and things like that, and I've actually still got AP loaded from the last game like a moron. But yeah, the ship's AA rating right now, my particular one, is only at 64 or 66 right now, just because I don't have it spec'd out for AA. And this is probably one of my favorite places to push up to with this Atlanta. If your team can keep the enemy team basically on the other side of the E line in the decap, then you can sit behind this island and rain shells on the enemy team. But if they start to push around the flank and they can get some shots on you, then this becomes a very dangerous position, and there's not really an easy way to get out of it, because you're basically in the line of fire of every ship that's flanking around the east side of the decap. And I noticed somebody was basically I don't know why they were crying in chat about a campy Atlanta. I mean, that's basically what Atlantas are supposed to do, is you know, hide behind islands and shoot at people. If you go out into the open, this thing has such little armor. Destroyers, other cruisers, battleships, they all do pretty good amount of damage to this ship. So no big surprise there. I'm actually going to use this smokescreen of this destroyer, and I have activated my AA defensive fire consumable against those planes there. Got 3 of those torpedo bombers. And I don't know if that, I mean, that carrier had to know I was here. I got spotted earlier. But it is what it is. I'm actually backing up here. I do get a fire on that Fiji. I am going to fire at this Cleveland as well. I want to try and spread as many fires around as I possibly can, because that's where a lot of my damage is going to come from. But the great thing about the Atlanta's defensive fire is that you have an unlimited amount of uses with it. That's why a lot of people typically use premium defensive fire with this ship, because you can reload it a lot faster. And I'm just using the standard one, just because I'm cheapo and don't want to pay the credits for it. And the enemy frigate actually gets taken out there, which is good for us. Even without the defensive fire, the Atlanta's AA capabilities are still pretty tough. Now, I'm not running basic firing training or advanced firing training on this ship, because otherwise you could get your AA up to ridiculous levels and you can just shred planes. But like I said, I'm using my Benson Captain in this ship, and he might actually have basic firing training, but I know he doesn't have advanced because I don't have the extra range. So it's a pretty good AA ship, to say the least. It's a little soft though, which is why you don't ever see it in any sort of ranked play or anything else like that. Now, I don't have anybody over here to spot for me at the moment. Our destroyer is finally getting out into a position where he can spot. This is one of the few times where I wish I had advanced firing training, because the 11.1 kilometer range of these guns is really It doesn't give you a whole lot of options as far as targets. But a lot of the times that's not too big of a deal. I'm trying to stay undetected here because I don't want to get hit by anybody else. And even though there is a clear line of sight on me between me and that enemy battleship that's way over there on the east side of the decap, you can't actually see me because my firing range is only 11.1, so he's not close enough to spot me even with me firing. And we do actually get a fire on that Tirpitz. I am getting spotted by aircraft here though, which is why I sort of started backing up. I don't want to take any battleship fire from over the island. And this is one of the hard things to do in the Atlanta, is actually land some shells on people. It looks like I got somebody else is actually stealth firing at me, kind of. They can see me because the planes are overhead, and I'm really wanting my defensive fire cooldown to come off, because I would love to shoot down these torpedo bombers, and yeah, they just instantly as soon as I hit that defensive fire cooldown, they just both got destroyed, and that actually saves me there a little bit. And that carrier just lost all of his planes, unfortunately for him. You know, if you're ever in a carrier and you see an Atlanta, just go to the other side of the map. Don't even bother. Because these little guys, if they can stay undetected, you're not going to see him till you're close enough for him to start hitting you with his AA. And then it's going to be over for your planes, basically. So I think that's probably what's kept the enemy team at bay here. They can't really see what's over here, because every time the carrier sends his planes over, they get destroyed. And this was one of the only reasons that I was even playing the Atlanta, because I had played like 5 or 6 games so far this day, and whew, I was getting very agitated at the fact that that in every game it was carrier or double carrier, and it was just making it very difficult for me to play a game in my destroyers. So you know what, I said screw it, I'm going to get an AA cruiser and I'm going to ruin these players' days, because honestly, I'm not a huge fan of carriers in this game. I really feel like they need to rework the carrier system. I think it's really bad, because you feel completely helpless unless you're in a ship that has a huge amount of AA. Like, you're either impervious to carriers because you have so much AA, or you don't have enough AA and you basically just a sitting duck. It's kind of like if you talk to anybody who's in a modern day Navy and they're a submariner, they'll basically tell you submarines are top of the food chain as far as you know, naval tactics and everything, because they'll tell you there's submarines and then there's targets, and that's about it. Because if you're in a surface ship and a submarine is close enough to launch a torpedo at you, there's not really much you can do about it. And you know, unless you've got some helicopters with some dipping sonar and everything, man, modern day submarines are just they are so powerful, it is ridiculous. Anyways, back to the game. I should be able to actually take this Tirpitz out if I can get a couple of fires going on him. And we got one right there. See if I can get another one. I'm having a really tough time shooting this guy from behind this island. This is one of those times where I wish I had like a camera mod or something, or I could just look over it with my crosshairs. Make these sort of shots just that much easier. I had to stop here to select that spotter plane so that my AA would shoot it down. And the Atlanta does actually have 4-kilometer torpedoes. I wanted to use them right here, but the firing arcs on them are so bad, I would essentially just have to expose my ship to a lot of, basically a lot of enemy targets by pushing away from the side of this island. And I really didn't want to open myself up to being shot from the Bugiani and the Tirpitz and anything else that might be over there. So I just said, you know what? I'm not going to use my torpedoes. I'm going to move into a better position so that when these guys do come around the corner, I can put some shots into them, but also retreat if I need to. I was a little worried about this Baron right here in front of me getting killed by that Mogami, because Mogami does have torpedoes. And with him being that close, there's a good chance he's probably going to use them. And this Bugioni is taking a sweet time. And yeah, sure enough, the Mogami did actually use his torpedoes on that Baron. Took him out. Now, unfortunately for me, with these being 128mm, basically destroyer guns, yeah, almost all those shells are bouncing off. I'm not getting any Citadel penetrations, which really sucks, but we just switch over to HE and doing a ton of damage to this guy now. Did 5,000 with that initial volley there. Now he's only doing maybe 1,500 points of damage to me. It's because he's shooting AP at me. If this guy would shoot HE at me, he'd be doing a lot more damage. Yeah, and he's not doing a whole lot of damage to me at all, and I'm doing quite a bit in return to him. I do have a higher rate of fire, and I also have battleships. So that guy gets taken out. It's unfortunate for him. Even if you do see a low armored target that you know you can kill, yeah, that's something you've always got to watch out for. Well, when you're chasing somebody down, because you're basically going to overextend and put yourself in a situation where you can't get away and you just get taken out. And that's unfortunately what happened for that enemy Bugioni player, which is not unfortunate for me. I mean, I would have killed him before he killed me, but it was just basically just a question of when and how, because he decided he was going to chase me. That's something I almost never do, is chase somebody, because if they're going to turn around and flee into the rest of the enemy team, I'm not going to chase them. There's no point to. You know, if one of the battleships can't hit him at long range and kill him, then there's no point in me chasing him, because all I'm usually going to do is lose my ship. And unfortunately for this Independence, I guess he was probably out of planes, considering how many of them he flew over me. I took down 15 of his planes, and I'm sure he probably lost a lot to some of the other ships that were in this game, because if I recall, yeah, this was a tier 8 game. So I'm sure he was not having a good go of it. But lucky for me, he sails right in front of me, which gave me the opportunity to farm some more damage on him. So with the Atlanta's rapid firing guns, he's definitely not going to get away. There's just no way. And with, yep. Alright, so sorry about that, all the beeping and everything. Game actually crashed there right at the end, so it just kind of cut me off, which sometimes happens. Now, actually did 95,000 damage in this game. Ended up getting 237,000 credits and 3,400 experience. Ended up getting 1,700 base experience and actually shot down 15 planes. It looks like some of my other teammates also got a few planes of the enemy carrier, and we end up on the top of the team there. Did quite a bit of damage to the enemy carrier and to the Tirpitz and the Bugioni that chased me. It's just the guns, man, they fire so quick on this thing, and it's just the amount of damage you can output is ridiculous, especially if you have inertia fused high explosive, which I unfortunately don't have on my Benson Captain. But ended up making 173,000 credits, so it's a pretty good credit maker even if you don't have a premium account. But anyways, if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see more. Alright, so sorry about that.